Hello YouTube. I've been busy, but I haven't been filming because I've been lazy. I just wanted to crack on, and I'm glad I did because I got my inlet all tacked up, which you've seen, and then I've done my intercooler piping, which is all pie cut. All pie cuts down, and I've moved my turbo. So I was annoyed that it was so high. I was really into the top mount, but it looked so uneven, so now it's side mount. It's just pointing slightly left, which is good because I can get the downpipe straight down there, and I can get a nut and bolt on all three of these now, even easier than before. Also means I can clock my turbo and run the actuator in a standing position without having to make some crazy mounts. But yeah, so they're all done. It's a pretty boring process, takes ages. Again, I'm tacking everything up, big weldathon later on once I've got all loads of new rods and stuff like that. So I'm going to do downpipe next, and then I'm going to do coolant relocation. So I'm going to blank the front one off, and then I'm going to build the back one. So this is the rear. So this is the size that comes out of the rear. So most of the water comes out of that front one, which was an add-on because the engines were front wheel drive, and this was the original front wheel drive location at the back end now of the engine. So they've just linked it back on with this little bit, but this is well restrictive compared to the front. So when you actually get the car hot doing track, it cooks the rears. So I'm going to adapt this, basically cut it up, or even make my own flange out of this, and I'm going to weld on a big outlet, link it to the front and blank off the back. So yeah, I've been busy with that stuff, and then I've done something else. I bought another toy. I couldn't say no. My friend had it, and I've wanted one for ages, and it's yellow, and I want to make a nice little daily out of it to nip around in, full ride height, no coilovers, just full standard CT9. So I got it for a good price. It's got the whole front interior. I'm going to get rear. But yeah. Ooh, exciting, eh? Another thing for this video is me and Kyle are going to step the vlogs down to if and when we can film, because we're finding it really hard to keep up one a week at the moment, and I've got some big life adulting to do in the next month, which is going to zap a lot of time at the moment, but hopefully I can resume building later on. So yeah, I'm going to try and do as much as I can when I can, but we can't keep up the one a week at the moment, and I know our 500-ish adoring fans are going to be so heartbroken, but what can you do, eh? So I have an engine for it. It's at my mate's yard at the moment, with a slightly knocking bottom end, so fresh for a rebuild, plonking the hole basically. And again, yeah, just I want to make a nippy little daily car because I'm bored of driving a 1.4 Civic, and I'm fed up of driving a coilover D46 estate that I can't go over speed bumps and properly. So I want to put this back to just a good, clean, standard Glanzer, and one day TDO for it, little TDO for them, little map, 200-ish horsepower, perfect. And I'm liking the yellow on this one, so I think this might have to go that yellow, and I can have a pair of matching starlets. Right, so here's how I do my pie cuts. There's not much science to mine. It's more a bit of trial and error, but 3-inch tube, got 1 metre of angle iron, and I don't use this for anything else apart from marking down tube. So usually on sort of tube like this anyway, there's like a seam. So I just mark that seam, and then what you need to do on your bandsaw is you mark either side of the clamp. So this is 2.5 inch. So it's half of 2.5 inch, and that's a 3 inch tube line there. Then I've made just a little stop. So then what you do is you cut an angle, turn it over so your line's there, butt it up, chop, turn it over, butt it up, chop, and then you get pie cuts. So I'm just going to set it up the same as my 2.5 inch, but for the 3 inch, which is what I use for the intercooler piping. And I'll do a test cut and see whether that one wedge will kick me enough to get past that. I can always cut this one as well. We should be alright. Couple of pie cuts, S it down. So let's set this first one up. Right, so with a bit of a clean up, just buzz it around on the old disc sander, use a die grinder on the inside. We've got a pie cut. See how it fits. Oh yeah. So just need to make a few more of them. I won't film it because I've already showed you how to do one. So, catch you in a bit. Bunch of pie cuts, took forever. You'll see something really satisfying. 2 are the same. How satisfying is that? Oh, that's me not holding together properly. So yeah, what you do is the key is to spend a while rolling the edges on that, because the bandsaw, as the bandsaw cuts through, the blade sort of flexes out and back in again. So I'm desperately trying to find one of the big belt sanders. It's got a disc on the side and a big belt. Now the Clark little ones are just not as big as I need. The one's called the CS6, and you can put like I'll be able to fit like a whole 4-cylinder exhaust flange on it and move it back and forth, so it'll flatten it off. But I've had enough for today. Done a load of cuts. I'm gonna get back in for the dog. Carry on with this. I just cut this at an angle. Now I've just got to figure out the way it's going to go down, which I'll do tomorrow. So see you tomorrow. Okay, so I marked the first 2 pie cuts. I'm just going to tack them up, and it's basically just trial and error. Just test fitting that, adding the next pie cut, seeing this general direction, marking it, tacking it all the way down. So let's crack on. So let's pop that back on. Work out the next two. I have to put the camera down. So I've been trialing and erroring. So I've got a pie cut, bit of straight, 2 pie cuts, and then I've worked out I can now cut one angle on a straight and get it all the way down following my exhaust tunnel. But I'm kind of stuck now because that's in the way. I need to kind of work from under the car to mark it properly, but you get the idea. So pretty much my turbo and downpipe will be done very soon. I'm deciding whether I want to V-band it halfway down. So I have to order up a couple of V-bands. But yeah, it's kind of taking shape. So I'm going to wrap up this video here. And I'm going to start filming this hopefully in the week. This is the water outlet, like I explained earlier. So I'm going to cut that shape out of that and weld on a big pipe, which luckily I've got somewhere over there. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.